What's going on, guys? Dirt Sheet from the Spoiler Alert Network. I'm here with Showtime, and today we're coming at you with another top 5 list of ours. These are our top 5 pro wrestling tag teams. Now, they can be across any brand. Doesn't matter what the promotion is. NXT, NXT UK, WWE, AEW, all of the other ones that aren't really relevant. So I'll let Showtime start the list.
Alright, my number 5 is American Alpha. These guys were great in NXT a couple years ago. Chad Gable and Jason Jordan, they were just lighting the division on fire in NXT. And then they got called up to the main roster and didn't do quite as much. But when they were in NXT, they were amazing. And I was really happy with their performance in every match that they had. Really, they just always had an intensity to them. They had a good look. Everything about them was great.
I don't know what happened to Jason Jordan, honestly, after the whole Kurt Angle illegitimate son thing.
Oh, I thought he had a neck injury. He wasn't in.
I don't know. I didn't hear. So, Okay, interesting.
Now you know.
I thought he was just
Dead.
gone.
Yeah,
Same thing, really, honestly.
Conception.
Okay, so my top 5 is actually from the good days of TNA, before it was Impact. His Beer Money, with Bobby Roode and James Storm. And I really like these guys because what it did was it took 2 of the strongest singles competitors on the roster at the time, and you just mushed them into a tag team, and it was almost instant success.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they were both kind of mega heels. Bobby Roode was just arrogant, all about the money, hence his role, and then James Storm was just a redneck. So, I really like this tag team, and they were around for a while. A long time. So, but that's my number 5.
All right. My number 4, I got the Hardy Boyz. Started off in WWE during the Attitude Era, and they hung out for a long time before they both eventually went over to TNA for a time and had amazing success there. That's right. And then they went off into the independent circuit and had success all over the indies, and then found their way back to WWE, and they're not doing.
Well, Jeff Hardy's getting arrested.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they came back a couple years ago and they had a little bit of success for a while there, but not so much anymore. And it's a little bit of a shame to see where they're at now, but.
It was kind of a cool way they brought him back, though, with the shock factor at WrestleMania, just throwing him into that 97 team ladder match and having him win the tag titles. So I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, that was one of the highest viewed YouTube videos in WWE history.
I believe
their surprise return.
Because I honestly didn't think they'd ever be coming back to WWE at that point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure. What do you got for number 4?
Solid number 4. My number 4 is actually, it was a very, very short-lived team, but it was Alistair Black and Ricochet.
Okay.
And I don't know if you guys remember, they were a tag team for a while in NXT. They competed in the Dusty Rhodes Classic, and then they tag teamed for a while when they both got called up to the main roster. And they were actually in I believe it was the Raw tag team title picture for a while. And the reason I like this team is probably a lot of biased on my part. I'm a huge Ricochet and Alistair Black fan. And like with Beer Money, this was just them taking 2 of the top singles competitors and making them a successful tag team. And they gelled really well. They're really entertaining in the ring. Lightning fast offense, and I have a short attention span, so it's easy for them to keep me grasped to the screen, and I really like this tag team.
Yeah, I don't usually like when they take 2 singles guys and just stick them together, but everything seemed to work pretty well with those 2.
And it was a very short team. I actually forgot they were a team until I made this list, and I was like, oh, that happened.
Yeah, that makes sense. My number 3, I got DIY. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa.
Love it.
They were amazing in NXT when they were tagging. They had amazing matches with the Revival and just other teams. I remember their matches with the Revival the most because they were some of the best matches in NXT history. Yeah. They stole the show at takeovers. They had an amazing story, and it ended with Ciampa attacking Gargano and just starting the biggest feud, I think, in NXT
Arguably
history.
one of the best feuds in NXT history.
Yeah. which really is one of the best feuds in WWE in my opinion.
It went across, what was it, 3 takeovers?
Yeah.
4 maybe?
Yeah, over the course of a year. Well, with Ciampa's injury, he was sidelined for like a year, right? So.
Yep.
So yeah, and just the whole storyline between those two as a tag team and as a feud and everything.
Then coming back together.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, coming back together, getting called up to Monday Night Raw for a match or two, and then just disappearing again because of Ciampa's injury. And then Gargano went back to NXT and had a lot of success there, winning the championship.
I'm pretty sure that's where Gargano's going to retire, is NXT.
Yeah, I think he's best placed in NXT for sure. He exemplifies the spirit of NXT, and I hope that if he ever does make it to the main roster, which I guess it's all the main roster now,
right?
But if he ever ends up on Raw or SmackDown, I hope he just doesn't get wasted or just tossed to the side.
Yeah,
he's better off on NXT.
Definitely is.
And I think Ciampa is too. Or Ciampa. I think Ciampa is
Chain
too.
Chomp. So, Tommaso Chain Chomp.
That's him.
So.
What do you got for number 3?
So that's a really good number 3, and DIY actually didn't make my list. That is how hard it was to come up with a list of your top 5 tag teams across all brands. My number 3 is actually a very nostalgic pick.
Okay.
The Brothers of Destruction.
Okay.
The good Brothers of Destruction. The late 90s, early 2000s Masked Kane and The Undertaker. And this tag team was one of my favorite tag teams because they were just arguably the most dominant tag team of their era. These are 2 monstrous men that are just complete powerhouses, and whenever you got them together in the ring, they were nigh unstoppable. And it was just, and Kane has been with so many different people over the years in tag teams, and for this to be my favorite tag team with Kane and The Undertaker that he was in, it's saying something, because he's like a 47-time tag team champion with 43 different partners.
For sure.
So, but I really like this tag team because I just remember whenever I first got into wrestling, and The Undertaker himself is he's a once-in-a-lifetime talent. It's awe-inspiring when he's on the screen. And then Kane is another very special talent, and when they put him together, it was a sight to see. So I really enjoyed all of the matches these guys had for the most part.
Yeah, for sure.
Until Kane lost his mask.
Yeah.
So.
Moving on then. My number 2, I got The Revival. I really like these guys.
No flips, just fists.
Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. They did amazing stuff on NXT, like I said, with DIY. They've been doing great on the main roster. They floundered there for a little while, and they were it was rumored that they were going to be leaving the company.
They just pulled a Sasha Banks and threatened to leave, and then Vince McMahon gave them the titles back. So
that's how it works sometimes. But these guys are great. They're like a throwback from the old school. Nice tag team work. Everything they do has a reason. They're economic workers. They like to just basic tag team psychology, cutting off the ring, keeping your opponents away from their teammates, working on body parts. Working on the body part is like my favorite part about them.
Yeah.
They'll isolate a leg, they'll isolate an arm, and they'll just focus on it the whole match. And it's very old school, and it's very good. And I love these guys.
But that's
For
a really
sure.
solid number 3.
Number 2.
2 numbers.
What do you got for number 2?
Okay, so my number 2 is where it gets there was just an eyelash between these guys for the number 2 and 1 pick. But my number 2 pick is the Undisputed Era's Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. And these guys are tag team extraordinaires. And it is almost magical to see these guys in a tag team match because they work with each other so well, and they've been teaming for so long. It's almost like there's this unspoken chemistry between them. They know what the other one's going to do before it happens. And then the pure striking abilities that both of these guys bring to the ring is just ridiculous. So to watch them just beat down and wear down their opponents in a tag team match, and I honestly think these guys are the best tag team on the NXT roster. And Kyle O'Reilly is a hidden gem in my opinion. We don't deserve Kyle O'Reilly, but these guys are tremendous. I really love the Undisputed Era, and Kyle O'Reilly and Fish are a staple of this faction.
Yeah, for sure. First time I saw them was when they were teaming as Red Dragon in, I'm pretty sure it was New Japan for Wrestle Kingdom 9 was the first time I saw them, and they were just amazing. And they still are. That was, 5 years ago, and they're still going at it. Still one of the best tag teams in the world.
Yep.
I agree. They didn't make my list. I should have thought of them, but they're amazing.
Well, it's a good thing we have 2 top 5s for technically a top 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
Numbers. Anyhow.
Words.
So, cue drum roll. What's your first pick, Showtime?
My number 1 pick is the Motor City Machine Guns. From the old school days of
Oh,
TNA.
They were a thing!
They were incredible. I'm big on fast-paced action sometimes. I go back and forth. Like, I love the Revival's old school tactics and stuff, but the Motor City Machine Guns, fast-paced action, and their constant teamwork and working together. It seems like every move they do uses both teammates, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, and everything they do was just so crisp and clean, whether it's a standard drop kick or the little like reverse snapmare drop kick to the face thing that they used to do. I love these guys, and some of the best matches in TNA history were these two. Have matches with like Generation Me, which was the Young Bucks before they were Young Bucks, or whatever, and they had great matches with America's Most Wanted, James Storm and Chris Harris. And these guys were just incredible, and they were fast-paced, and they just exemplified TNA to me. I think that they were some of the best in the company.
That's a real sleeper pick. I completely forgot about Chris Sabin, Alex Shoo-hoo-hoo. I think that's him. But
yeah.
Chris Sabin, I remember Chris Sabin. Oh, my God. And then whenever he broke away for singles activity and just was injury-riddled all the time. So I definitely think his best days were with the Motor City Machine Guns.
He did win the World Championship as a singles for a little while there.
He did.
I think he won it from Bully Ray.
So, Bully Ray, that guy. All right, so my number 1 pick is actually a team that a lot of people have recently found out about, but they've been grinding for a couple years on the NXT scene. The Street Profits.
There you go.
And I love these guys. Oh my God. Montez Ford is his generation's Dwayne Johnson. He is The Rock. Whenever he walks into a building, he just absorbs the charisma from everybody else. Kind of like, there was a Pokemon move I was thinking of. Absorb. It's called Absorb. So, but I remember at the SummerSlam, no, it wasn't SummerSlam. What pay-per-view was it? Where him and Ric Flair were in the locker room together.
Oh boy.
And we were watching it, and you messaged me, and you just said that Ric Flair and Montez Ford collectively siphoned the charisma out of everybody else in the building.
I think that might have been SummerSlam. I think that's the one we watched together.
Okay, yep. So, and these guys are a tremendous tag team. Angelo Dawkins is also a guy who's very underrated, and he's kind of the muscle of the team. Montez Ford has these just incredible athletic abilities and a 19-foot vertical leap. So, but these guys tagging together is incredible. They're very charismatic. They're fun. They're energetic. They get the crowd invested in the matches. And they're actually popular enough now that they're on almost every show. They've made appearances at the previous 3 or 4 pay-per-views for the WWE roster. They've been on the takeovers. They've been on NXT UK. They've appeared on Raw numerous times over the past couple of weeks. Like, these guys are they're just getting started, and they're hitting their midst, and it is just incredible to see.
Yeah, for sure. The Street Profits are really good. They didn't make my list because I haven't seen very many of their matches, but they have so much charisma that it's scary how good they can be.
And Montez Ford is you guys don't watch NXT takeovers often. First of all, I highly suggest it. They are absolutely incredible and breathtaking. But there was I think it was the Triple Threat Tag Team match, or the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match, and Montez Ford attempted a people's elbow. And he is the only person on the roster in the last 10 years that I am okay with attempting this move. Mm-hmm. And then he hit a rock bottom later in the match, and it was incredible. I fangirled very, very hard.
I believe that's the match where they won the NXT titles, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Just an incredible ladder match. So
I was so happy for those guys at that point, because Angelo Dawkins is one of the first guys I saw in NXT when I started watching 5 years ago, and I'm happy that he's finally getting a shot as part of the Street Profits.
Yep. That concludes our top 5 professional wrestling tag teams. Let us know what you guys think. Come up with your own list. Get in the comments. Let us know why you're in the comments. Like, share this video. The Spoiler Alert Network on Facebook, YouTube is where we're most popular right now. We have expanded to a Twitch, and we will be getting on other services here soon. I'm DIrtsheet. This is Showtime. Stay dedicated, guys.